Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Matt and Carly podcast. This is episode
25.
25.
I think.
Okay, we're back. We had this goal when we started to do once a week, and then 2 months went by and we didn't do one, unfortunately.
That's all right. Life happens.
Yeah, it's been a interesting spring. It's officially spring in Michigan now. The snow is melting away, and we're finally coming out of our seasonal depression from my seasonal depression.
I combat that with skiing, so I cheat.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Yeah, Carly's a big skier. I'm not so much. I have a fear of breaking my pelvis into multiple fractures.
Yeah, don't
so
do that.
I don't enjoy that quite as much, but we did make it through the ski season. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've got some, I'm sure you've got some stuff to reflect on that.
Yeah.
And we're officially into spring break time for school.
We are.
This upcoming week is spring break.
Yes.
So this is just going to be a quick update.
Yep.
Kyle, if you're watching this, you motivated us to get back on the horse. So thank you for that.
No, I think the horse is just in its stall kicking around waiting, pissed off at us, but we're feeding it again. So we're back. So ski season was fun. This is the first year that I've done ski patrol, and it was a blast. I had a wonderful time. I met a lot of really cool people and did some fun things and learned a lot, challenged myself a lot, and I got to ski for free. So that was really cool. I'm glad I did that. But yeah, it's over, and what you doing over there? What you got going on?
There's a hair on my ice cube.
What kind?
Can't tell.
No way.
I can see it, and I'm gonna get it. Oh, no. You guys don't pay attention to me.
Is it mine?
No, it looks like
Do you
mine.
want a 23andMe DNA checker? You can send that in somewhere to figure out who's this.
No, I think it's actually
yours?
It looks like mine.
Oh, boy.
Or maybe Adam's. I can see it. So I'm gonna think about how I'm gonna get that out so I don't
Can I help?
drink it. No, I got it. You just keep talking.
Yeah, ski season, hair in the drink. I can't stop looking at it now.
Got it.
Oh.
See? Got it.
That's yours. That was a beard hair.
No, it wasn't beard. It was too thin. I think it was Adam's. That looked pretty small. Anyway, okay, keep going.
Yeah, anyways. Okay, so ski season's over. I had a blast. It was awesome. We had a very mild winter. We really didn't have a lot of as much snow as we've had in the past years that we've been here. This was probably the most mild in terms of length and amount.
Severity.
Yeah. The first year we were here, the first winter, it was
we got nailed.
Dude, Lila, it was the first year she had gone to school. She started preschool, and I think she had 20 snow days in a row. The entire month of January, she was out of school. It was so crazy. Yeah. But this year, she only had a couple snow days. I mean, snow days, but
right.
We were home anyways. But yeah, it was interesting, but it was cool. It was a good ski season. They went from end of December, basically beginning of January through middle of March. So it's a decent season for up here. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's been interesting. We were just talking about what we were going to talk about on this podcast, and we were kicking around the idea of if the pandemic came up, and one of the biggest things for us was the reason we kept Lila home and homeschooled her this year was because we figured, at a certain point, a bunch of kids are going to get sick, and then they're going to send everybody home, and it's just going to be more stressful going back and forth. And luckily, I guess, we really didn't have a lot of that in our area, but just in the last week, we get text updates, anytime a kid or a staff member or whatever has tested positive for COVID, and we've gotten a handful of them all of a sudden. So
there's been a spike.
Yeah, we went most of the year with not much action on that, and then all of a sudden now we've got weird little pockets popping up. So.
How do you feel about the decision that we made to keep her home specifically? Lauren too, but more so Lila.
It's been challenging just to keep her attention, but I think when I look at the worst case scenario of what it could have been, and then compared to how it actually went, I think we made the right choice, just because if it went the worst case, where all of a sudden, you know, like throughout the whole year, they were like canceling school and
Right.
sending people home. And like that would have just been a nightmare. So it definitely would have been more consistent and less stressful.
Right.
But, you know, I think either way, we made the right choice on it.
Yeah. I'm proud of our commitment to what we did, because there were a couple times, I mean, after the winter break, like basically beginning of January, we had the option to send her back. So basically they're doing it by like trimester, I think.
Yeah.
So each trimester you can choose to send your child back if they're like doing homeschool and or virtual. And the first one we let pass, and we said, no, we're gonna give it a couple more months and just kind of see how it goes. And that was our thought the whole time, was just, you know, obviously this is the first time anybody has done this in terms of like educators and students and whatever. So we're kind of like, okay, let's see how, you know, institutional schools, that sounded weird. Structured schools respond. Yeah. Institutions respond. Let's like see what the response looks like.
Yeah.
You know, if we agree with it and we feel comfortable, then we'll send her back, if, you know, whatever. And it kind of just ended up being, you know, just to keep her schedule consistent. And she was doing, you know, she's doing fine. She's excelling the way that she should be. And she's, you know, hitting all her benchmarks and all that stuff. So we're not concerned about her progress at all. But yeah, it's interesting. So we're gonna let it ride the rest of the year. I think we're gonna, you know, keep her in. And then next year, we're very confident that we're gonna send her back into in-person school. And Lauren.
It's crazy. And like, I was never homeschooled, like, as a child from school, but I know I was friends with people that were, and I recall like the people I was friends with that were homeschooled were always active in like the people I knew, they were active in church and sports, and like they had different things going on, that they were always around other kids. And for us, it's like we're kind of out in the country and we don't have a bunch of kids close by. So that like child interaction is going to be really good for Lila to get. You know, once she gets back into school, it's going to be like a culture shock. She's going to have like happiness overload.
I know.
But
yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to everything. And I would say one of the cons is definitely the social interaction. And I mean, on top of just, if you normally just homeschooled your kid in a normal environment, you're still being like less social than somebody who goes, but then layer on top of that, you know, we kept everybody inside for however long, like the entire world shut down. So it's kind of weird, but we've been seeing friends here and there and like getting out as much as we can. But yeah, we're hurting for the social interaction again. So
it'll be good. It'll be good to complement it. And it's been interesting too this year, because having the girls and Adam home, it like has given us chances to teach them things that they normally wouldn't be learning,
right?
You know, like just stuff about life in general, about like how to live and how to take care of yourself, and like, you know, all the little things that they don't pay attention to when they're at school,
right?
You know, like when it snows a foot, like what happens,
right.
You know, like dad goes and gets the plow and plows the driveway,
right.
And like those things that a lot of kids probably don't pay attention to, like definitely kids in the city. Like when I grew up, I wasn't thinking like, oh, we got a foot of snow,
right?
Like what do we have to do to get out of our driveway? It was just like, okay, we're going to school and that's it. So, I think that'll be really valuable for them. And I mean, in school interaction and kid interaction, that's going to be like a constant until until she's 21 or whatever, I'm sure, or even later. So, it's pretty interesting. So our chickens, speaking of like having the opportunity to do stuff, our chickens are full blown chickens. They're big and they are loud and they're fun. They're laying eggs like crazy.
They're laying eggs consistently every day. We have 8 chickens and we get between 6 and 8 eggs a day now, which is so fun.
Yeah.
It was so funny. So the first, I don't think we've done an update since we've had eggs. I think it's been long.
We talked about like building it. And
So I think there was one night back in like December, January. So we got the chicks in September.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to be at least 18 weeks until they started laying. So which would have been right around like the January mark. And I think like end of December, beginning of January, you snuck out there and put 2 eggs or one egg.
I put an egg.
You put an egg.
We had ceramic
in the
eggs.
Box.
See, and I screwed up. I screwed up because she was gone I think you were skiing. You were doing ski patrol.
Something, yeah.
And I, kind of like a dummy dum-dum, went out and there were 3 ceramic eggs that were in there to like teach the chickens not to peck at eggs. And I didn't even think about it. Like it didn't even cross my mind that the eggs that they were going to lay were going to be brown. And I put a white egg in there. And it like the weirdest thing, I waited all day for you to come home. And I was like, hey, you better go like close up the coop or whatever. And for whatever reason,
I've been checking. Like
Yeah.
I'd started to check.
You asked me, you're like, will you come out with me? And I'm like, oh, okay. And like, inside I was like, yes, I will. So I had my phone light on like this, but I was filming the whole thing, like just playing like I had the light on. And just that split second, I got you for a split second.
I went, oh, babe, there's an egg in here.
And then it clicked that it was white.
I went, did you put this in here? And I was mean. I called you a bad word, and you can't share the video because I was mean and swore at you. So I was like, well, crap.
The funniest part was you had the nesting box open and you were looking and talking to the chickens for like a minute before you looked. And I was like, I was holding the light over the egg so you would see it. And I was like, she's going to close this thing. She's not even going to notice the egg's in there.
Oh my gosh.
But you finally saw it and it was funny.
Yeah. So that
it was worth it just to get that split. Like, oh, babe.
It's like,
and then you were like mad about it.
Yeah. I was like, no. So because that was the moment I had played it up in my head. I was like, oh, the first day we get an egg is going to be so cool. So of course, when it actually happened, I opened the coop up.
You yelled at me.
And it was snowing. It was like really weird because I wasn't expecting them. It's kind of weird because it happened just past the 18-week mark, but I wasn't, this was the first time we've ever done this. So I had no idea like how many eggs, how big they would be, what it would look like. Like I was just like, whatever. And yeah, like you said, there's ceramic eggs in there. So every time I open the nesting box, I'd always see those 3. And, kind of like my brain was getting used to at least seeing an egg-shaped thing in there. So it wasn't like, oh, weird, there's something. So I open it up and I see 3 eggs in one of the nesting little box areas. And then there was like 2 single eggs in the other 2. And I was like, wait a minute. And I like looked at it and they were brown.
Yeah.
So first I was like, okay, he's getting way more involved because he went to the store when I wasn't paying attention and bought brown eggs this time. Like, damn him. And my brain went first to, oh, these aren't really our eggs. These are Matt's tricking me again. And I go, babe, there's eggs in here. And you were like, really? And I was like, yeah, there's 2. And I was thinking like, oh, he's going to be like, ha,
she goes, you better tell me if you put those in there.
Like,
you better just be honest right now. Are you tricking me
this time? I don't want to get excited. And you were like, no, really? And I was like, really? And I pulled them out and they were like kind of weird. So the first couple eggs are like a little odd shaped. They're not like big and sturdy eggs. They're kind of
look like a baby when it comes out.
Yeah, they're like oblong
squished
and like,
head and
kind of like really pointy ends. It's really odd, but it's funny.
They're not like quite stretched out yet.
Right. They weren't like shaped correctly. But it was real. So we got 2 and then ever since then we've at least been getting one a day, and now they're up to like full production, which is really cool.
There's one yellow one. I can't remember what's the yellow ones?
Skittle.
No, what are the breed? I can't remember it.
Buff Orpington.
Oh yeah, the Orpingtons. Yeah, the one weird chicken that was like my favorite one because it never liked to be picked up. I think that's the one that actually got mature like the fastest, and she's always just chilling in the nesting box.
Yeah.
Like we've got 4 and 4, so like they'll be running the yard and we'll be like, okay, there's 4 black ones and there's 3 yellow ones, and then like she'll always be in the nesting box just chilling, laying eggs.
She sits on them.
Yeah.
So the other day there were 3 in one of the boxes and she was just sitting on them. And I was like, interesting. I think that's what they call getting broody.
Yeah. She's definitely going to be the first one to get eaten by something.
Think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they stay in their little flock.
Yeah.
And right now, like the woods out behind our house, there's no foliage, right? And like, I mean, like that owl, I videotaped an owl.
There was an
over
eagle.
The winter.
There was an actual bald eagle the other day.
There's been like bald eagles flying around and stuff, but they usually stay like in a group. But Skittle, the one yellow one, will be like 50 yards away. Like, she's gonna get nabbed.
Dude,
quick.
I'm 100% a chicken lady now. I stepped out the back of the back door the other day and I was like, babe, watch this. and they were all the way across the yard, and they were
Yeah.
like far away from their coop, just kind of like kicking up some leaves, like a big weird leaf pile.
This was a proud moment. This was a proud moment.
I stepped out and I was like, "Hi, chickens," and they all popped their heads up and they came flying across the yard because they saw me outside. And I was like, "I don't have anything for you," because
They
usually
just
I'll
come
take like a little
sprinting.
bucket of like, we give them like kitchen scraps or we'll give them like bird seed or whatever. And they just came flying, and I turned around and looked at them and I was like, "I'm a chicken lady now. It's me." Like,
It's so weird.
it's so funny. So now whenever I like walk around the coop, they'll just like come following. They've
Yeah.
started to do it to the kids too.
Yeah.
And the kids love it. Like
gosh.
it is so funny, and they love collecting eggs. We're still working with Adam on how to pick chickens up.
I cannot believe those
They're
chickens
so
let him
tolerant
do
of
it.
him. Yeah, they're very,
He'll
very
walk
tolerant.
over and he'll chase one down, and they usually just kind of like cower down, but he grabs them by the wings. You know, like how little kids like hold up, like they're like he grabs them by the
yeah.
wings, and I'm like, put it down.
Well, yesterday or a couple days ago, yeah, he went to pick it up. And he knows to like
Yeah.
pick it up by its belly,
He
but
tries.
it's heavy for him. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a heavy bird.
And as soon
Like,
as you
he
pick them up,
grabbed-
they squirm
Yeah,
and they try
they
to get
start
away.
to get away or whatever. But he picked it up, and he wasn't like full blown holding it out like this, but he was like stretching its armpits,
So it was like this.
and it was just like dangling. And I was like, oh my gosh, that chicken!
They're so tolerant.
They're really tolerant, and they do. And it's funny if they don't like it or if they want to get down, they let you know. Like
Yeah.
they flap away or they try to get away.
Yeah.
So they were just like chilling, like they didn't care. It was so funny. But yeah, we're working with Adam. The girls love it though.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, the door will be left open, or like the kids will go outside, and the chickens will like start to come in the house. We have to kick them out. We're like, get out of here.
I caught Ace the other day. Like Carly's been putting like actual food scraps in the chicken run.
Oh God.
And she put a whole bucket out. And like, I remember later that day, she was like, "Oh my gosh, chickens, you did so good. You ate like everything." And I was up in our bedroom, which is up on the second floor, and you can see the chicken coop in the run from our window. And I looked down there, and at first I thought it was like a coyote or something, like a raccoon in the coop.
Yeah.
And I looked down, and it's Ace.
It's Ace.
Ace is in the coop, and
Yeah.
the chickens are all like circling him, and he's just eating all the food out of the chicken run. I'm like, come on, man.
So it's our dogs eating all the scraps.
Yeah.
They're clever. Yeah, I am so pleasantly surprised. Well, that was some sibilance there. I am so pleasantly surprised by how good our dogs have been with the chickens. We've gotten to the point now where we just let them out and run, and they don't go after them.
And they're buddies.
They're not even, they don't show any signs of aggression. They're not like, they don't chase them. They're not like attacking, nothing. They're
Yeah.
just, I was never worried about Jack. Jack's like the biggest gentle giant dog you could ever have. But
Yeah.
Ace is
He gets
very,
birdie.
he is very animal driven. So if there's any like bird or like squirrel or whatever, he like loses his mind. So I kind of wasn't sure how you do with the chickens.
I was dreading that. 'Cause
I
I
was
was
too,
like,
yeah.
if we like can't let the dogs out,
It would be challenging.
yeah.
Well, and I kind of thought, okay, like, you know, there are times when like we could keep them in the coop and then let the dogs, but then that gets like logistically weird.
Yeah.
But they are so good. There's no doubt in my mind. I
Mm-hmm.
can just open the door and let them run out. And they're just like, I saw him try to herd them
Yeah.
the other day. They were far like across our little like field area. They were all in a little group, and he went running over there and he circled them and he started to like push
Yeah.
them back toward the house. I was like, wow, that's
You're talking
interesting.
about Ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack does. You could literally, if you just took them out of the equation, Jack would act exactly the same as he always does.
Yeah.
He just walks outside.
Yeah. He doesn't care.
And he like barely even looks at them,
Yeah.
so which is cool.
I think they actually have slight dominance over the dogs.
Yeah, strength in numbers.
Like I saw Ace was getting kind of close to their coop the other day, or their run, and like 3 of them were like charging at him,
Yeah.
like, get out of here. He
Yeah.
was like, okay, and he ran away. So funny.
So we actually have a Rob, if you're listening to this, we've got a big tree like right next to our house, and it was like seriously overgrown. And we put the chicken coop next to this tree because we figured it'd be kind of like a windbreak in the winter.
Yeah.
And but I finally just decided like to trim out some real low. It's a pine tree, but I don't know what kind of
Yeah, I
pine.
don't know.
It's like a really wide
Yeah.
pine, and it was funny. So clearly it had never been trimmed out like underneath, and like every time I'd go to mow it, like on our mower, it was always a pain in the ass. So I was like, well, this year I'm going to take out the real low hanging branches. And as soon as I did that, like the kids were like all over it, and they were playing, you know, like the whole day that I was cleaning up this tree, they were like jumping around and playing and climbing in the trees. And I can't remember where we were going, but like I knew the chickens were going to like it because they like to be underneath the trees or whatever.
Yeah.
But we were pulling out, and Lila started like dying laughing. She goes, "Dad, look, the chickens are up in the tree," and they were like climbing up on the branches where the kids were.
They were on like each branch. Yeah, all of them were up there. It's kind of cool.
So that's cool. At least that'll give them a little protection from like the eagles and
the hawks that fly around.
I keep waiting
the owls.
To look out there and just see a bald eagle just destroying them.
I keep telling you, I'm like, you need to stop. You're gonna like manifest some bullshit happening.
Dude, I'm telling
chickens.
You. So did I ever tell the story about the bald eagle and the deer carcass?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. So I killed two deer. Actually, it was when I shot my 2 bucks like 2 years ago. And I dragged just the rib cages and the spines, like just out past our pond. And I put a trail camera on it. Actually, I didn't have a trail camera on it. I just dragged it out.
You were talking about it. Yeah.
And one day I looked out there and I was like, oh my God, there's a bald eagle in the tree. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I walked out and I could see it like just above it. And as I walked out there, it like jumped off and flew away. And I was like, oh, that's like a decent size bald eagle. And then when I got out to the carcass, I looked up and the male bald eagle was in the tree. And I was like, holy shit, that is a big bird. And it took off flying. And I was like, wow, that was big. And I've told you this story, but I'll tell it here. And the eagle kind of flew off. And I started kind of just checking out the area because like you could tell something was in it. And I was like looking for coyote tracks and stuff. And within like 2 minutes, that bird flew away and then it came back. And when it came back, I just stood like really still. And it came all the way like, God, it was probably only 30 feet above my head. And when it saw me standing there, it like real quickly like started flapping its wings and changed directions and flew off. Yeah. And it was so big. It sounded just like if somebody was taking like a really loud bed sheet and just shaking it as hard as you could. Weird. And I was like, whoa. That's like sketchy. That thing is powerful. It was like right above my head. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, if it wanted to, like it could come down here and give me a nightmare.
That's kind of scary.
So yeah, the chickens will not stand a chance if they decide they want to come down and take a visit.
No.
Hopefully
the dogs would deter them. Like maybe if big birds have like flown over, they've seen our big scary black dog who's really aggressive. Eagles, if you're listening to this podcast. Yeah, it's interesting. We've had a lot of really cool wildlife encounters out here.
There's a bunch of predators around, but they stay away from the dog. The dogs keep them away. Like I've seen fox, and there's been like mink.
I'm pretty sure there's a mink. When we first moved here, the house that we are in right now was vacant for a little while. And it's on like a really cool piece of property. So I'm sure animals were like, oh, cool. Like no one's here. Sweet. Well, like just like we're good.
Oh, yeah.
There were like turkeys and deer and like, I don't know. I know coyotes have been around. Like our dogs have been part of like a coyote gang encounter. I mean, what do you even call that? Like they basically coyotes work in packs, obviously. And like they have like a decoy coyote that will like go out to draw in other animals, like to get them to chase them.
Come into the woods or whatever.
Our dogs, we got a phone call from our neighbor one day and it was like, hey, your dogs are being drawn out into a field by like a pack of coyotes. They're like running toward a pack of coyotes. Yeah. And we were like, oh my God. So apparently what happens is like one coyote will come out and it'll like mess around with like whatever it's trying to like draw in. And then it will run back toward the pack. And then the whole pack will like attack whatever is, they're trying to get.
I don't know if you know this, but like deer.
Is that what they do?
A coyote will run and they will do that to like a doe. Or a young deer.
So a doe will try to chase it away.
Or like a young buck. They'll get territorial and they'll chase it. And then, oh, whoops, I'm screwed. Because I'm in like
into the pack area.
Yeah, 8 pack or like 8 coyotes.
That makes sense. So that's what happened to our dogs.
Yeah. And our dogs are just like, hey, let's go play.
Let's go play with this coyote. Yeah. So we've seen like.
I don't think the coyotes are going to come up near the house.
I don't think so either.
Just because there's so much scent.
There was one
Like
that
dog
chased.
scent?
Yeah. Well, one chased Ace. There was a coyote in our driveway, like messing around with Ace.
Yeah.
And it was so scary. I slammed the door because the thing was like running around in circles in our driveway, chasing after a dog. And I was like, okay, that was really sketchy. But yeah.
The weird thing is we don't have raccoons.
We have never.
I've never seen a raccoon up here, which is really
We've
weird.
seen porcupines.
There's porcupines, and possums are for sure around.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be like if we forget to close up the chicken run and a possum gets in, and like messes with them.
They're roosted though too. That's like
Yeah.
another thing. It'd be probably kind of hard. Well, something could just like jump.
Yeah. I think my bet, this is like bad to bet, but my bet is that either eagle gets one of them or a hawk tries to get one of them.
Manifesting this.
Dude, I'm the one warning the chickens like, hey, stay away from the woods. Don't go over there.
Stay away from the woods.
Yeah, they were out in the woods the other day, and I yelled out, I'm like, chickens, you're gonna be dead. Don't do that. Like, come back. They don't care.
It's really funny. They're like, so as of, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, they are full blown, like free ranging chickens. Like they're not eating any of their store bought food anymore. They're just eating whatever they can find, like bugs. And I saw one running away from the other ones with a worm, like a big worm. It was like
they chase each other and fight over it.
It was like a gummy worm size. It was huge, and they were like playing keep away. It was really weird. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Like just watching an animal instinctually go after just eating.
Yeah.
I kind of like joked with you today. I was like, they're kind of dumb because they have a whole carton of food in their coop, and they're just like spending all their time and energy looking for food, but it like probably tastes better. And it's just their instinct.
I said it's the same thing when we go get fast food. Oh, we got food in the refrigerator.
It's like, it's just their instinct to do it, but it's really cool. So technically we have like organic farm fresh chicken eggs right now.
Yeah.
That is not based on like store-bought food,
So
which is kind of cool. But
I have to admit, I'm going to admit it publicly. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is in my brain, but something in my brain has not accepted that like I'm good with eating the chicken eggs out of the chicken coop yet. I don't know what it is. Like I know they're healthy. I know they're like organic. I know they're like you're washing them and they're clean, but something in my brain has just not let me fully accept that like those are my go-to eggs. It's just like I don't know what it is. Like I could kill a deer and go cut its backstrap out and eat it, and I'd be like, we're good. Something about those eggs coming out of those chicken butts has me like weirded out a little bit.
Your butt nuggets, you're not quite sure.
I've just seen those chickens. Like I know I like there's like a peace of mind knowing that your chicken eggs are just coming from defenseless, just overcrowded chicken places.
Have you even watched any of those videos?
They're horrible. They're terrible.
Do you know how much better our chicken eggs taste?
I know.
And how great they look?
It doesn't make sense to me why my brain is like apprehensive about it, but it is. I'm trying. I cooked them today.
It's the mayonnaise thing.
Yeah.
You're picky.
No, I think you used a weird oil. The first time
I mean like the same part of your brain.
Do you know what mayonnaise is?
No, the same part of your brain that doesn't like white creamy, like you don't like cream cheese. You don't like mayonnaise. You're not a huge fan of ranch.
Mayo? Don't like mayo. No, I love ranch. Ranch is
the other
great.
thing you don't? There's another thing. It's like mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, but there's another white substance you don't
Pus.
like. No, okay. Okay, we can agree
thing.
on that.
Ugh.
I
don't like mustard very much either.
You like mustard?
No, it's okay. Okay, that's not the same thing. It's just this weird thing that I have where like I know that the chickens poop on everything, and they're like.
But the chickens that
they like have poop on themselves, and they like step in their own poop, and then they're like laying in poop, and it's like. And then I watch them poop out an egg, and the egg's got poop on it for a minute, and then we got to clean it.
Have you even seen?
No, and that's why my brain is
chicken eggs we buy from.
Yeah,
Walmart.
There's this just peace of mind. It's like ignorance is bliss.
They like stand in one spot with their heads through a hole, and
that's
they like
perfect. They're just egg machines.
What? Oh God, you're a silly goose.
No, I'm being serious. I don't enjoy hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Nothing about hard-boiled eggs is appetizing. Like deviled eggs. Ugh. Yuck.
The funniest thing
be worse
in the world, our kids, all three of them,
Love them.
eat hard-boiled eggs like me, where you could just keep eating hard-boiled eggs and there's like no end to it.
I've never
They don't like
them.
the yolks though. Oh, you gotta take the yolks out. I did see a thing on
oaks.
TikTok. Yeah, the oak. I saw a thing on TikTok, a life hack, if you will, where you put, I don't know if this works, and I really want to try it. It would be kind of labor intensive.
You put a hole in the end? You blow in it?
No, I did see that, but that's not what I'm talking about. So apparently, if you take an uncooked egg and you put it into like a nylon pantyhose and you like twist it up and you pull it and it like spins really fast. And then you hard boil it, it comes out like yellow, but it's all uniform. It's not,
scrambles the egg.
There's no like yolk and egg white. It's just all
you put it in a sock
thing.
and you basically go like this. And then once it gets twisted, you yank it.
I want to try it.
It spins it really fast.
Because I think they would eat the entire egg that way.
For sure.
They don't like the yolk texture, which I don't blame them. It's a little dry and weird. But like, I think if you just had one light yellow egg white consistency hard-boiled egg, they would like, yes.
I told our child a white lie this morning about eggs.
I thought I heard you. I can hear it in your voice when you lie, and I heard you. Yeah. Your voice went higher, and I was like, "What is he saying right now?"
No.
What are you talking about?
Well, so I started making.
Still didn't need it.
I know. It's because she heard one of us say that it was. Okay, well, I don't know. So I was making bacon, and I was going to make eggs, and so I started making the eggs, and the eggs are like scrambled and they're already in the pan cooking. They're almost done.
Yeah.
Like I'd already flipped them and they're almost done. And so they finish cooking. I put them on a pan. And basically what I do is just make a big flat omelet and then I cut it and I call it an egg pizza.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, our kids like that. So the egg pizza's done. And Lila goes, are those the white eggs or the chicken eggs? And I said, what do you mean? I said, they're all chicken eggs. And she goes, no. I wanted the white eggs because they're like me being weird. As soon as they started like laying eggs, I still bought like the Walmart eggs just because I wasn't prepared to like accept that yet. So there's these white eggs that we're still eating. And me knowing full well that I had just put 6 of our chicken eggs in and cooked it. I said, oh, no. Yeah. No, you wanted the white eggs, right? And she was like, yeah. And I said, oh, yeah, these are the white eggs. Thinking there's no way she's going to know the difference. And then somebody came down, or I think you came down and you said something about like, babe, are you going to eat these? Like, are you going to try the chicken eggs? And I was like, like, I didn't want to be like, just don't do that. I just told her these are the white ones. But I think she heard you say that. And then she was like, oh, I'm not going to eat it. Like they're trying to pull a fast one on me.
I think she hears
and
you.
I don't know why, because she usually eats you them.
And like she's picking up on what you're putting down with the, oh, I'm not ready yet. And she's like, why isn't Dad ready? What's wrong with him? But she's like getting all freaked out.
I don't know what it is. I've got this weird. It's just this weird thing.
You're very apprehensive with foods. You're very picky, and I know you don't want to admit that. I love you, but like we took a picky food eater quiz, and you were picky.
I was mildly.
You were
picky.
Mildly picky.
Okay.
It's okay.
Whatever.
It's okay. You don't have to be adventurous with food. It's okay.
No, I mean, I will do it. I'm just waiting to see, if all you guys are going to contract a disease.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, then I'll be like, okay, it's probably safe.
I've done enough research and I've cooked them enough to know. I know how to handle my eggs and they're handled.
So back to the hard-boiled egg thing.
Yeah, I want to try that.
I hate the smell. It smells like farts.
It's like sulfur.
It smells like you're just cooking a fart. To me, it's like, I don't know why you would want to put that in your mouth. Or like anywhere near your face.
Eggs. But see, you don't like tuna. You don't like smelly
I like tuna.
Food. What?
Tuna's not bad. I don't mind tuna.
When is the last time you've eaten tuna?
I don't prefer to eat tuna, but I don't not like it.
When's the last time you have eaten tuna over something else?
Never.
So I would say you don't like tuna.
That's not true because I had a big like tuna steak at a restaurant once.
Okay, that is way different than what I'm talking about. A tuna steak, a mahi-mahi is way freaking different than a tuna in a can.
So, okay. The
hard-boiled egg that's thing. What's going on. You're a bougie boy.
The hard-boiled egg thing. Whatever reason, the ones like from the store, just the white, like bleached, like full of hormone eggs, they have a certain smell, right? They smell like something. Smell. No, they smell. They stink. But the
They also have those little dangly things.
Arch the
Would you take
chicken
out?
cocks.
You remove the white. I have not missed. I'm going to tell you this.
Publicly shame me for doing that.
I know. You're kind of getting picked on right now. I don't miss pulling those weird things out. That is my least.
I have.
You know how much I love you?
Yes, I know you do.
I hate. Okay, when you crack an egg, whoever's watching this, the next time you crack an egg, if you've never noticed this before, I am sorry. I apologize because now you'll never be able to unsee this.
Yeah.
When you crack an egg and like you get the yolk and you get the egg whites, there's this little like umbilical cord. It's basically like
it keeps the yolk in the center of the egg.
It's the little umbilical cord that's like what would develop.
Some eggs have them, some eggs don't.
Yeah, it's what would develop into the chicken's umbilical cord if it was a fertilized egg. Okay.
Yeah.
So for some reason,
it's the little white stringy looking thing.
Yeah. For some reason, Matt has never done this until like a couple years, like a year ago. He was like, hey, one morning, and I was like, we scramble eggs, right? So like one morning.
You were looking at me and you were like, what are you doing?
One morning, he goes, hey, if you make eggs just like in the future, like no big deal, but like, can you just like remove those? And I was like,
I just take a fork real quick and because what I noticed was.
Wait, let me finish. Okay. So I was just like standing there like, scrambling, and he was like, hey, just like no big deal. Can you just like remove those? And I was like, what?
You're like, no.
I was like, why? What is it? It's like part of the egg.
You were so mad because I'd let them sit in the sink for a little while before I'd rinse them down.
No, I was like, it's just part of the egg. I was like, what's wrong with it? And you were like, I don't know. It just creeps me out. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you can't tell when they're all scrambled up. And you were like, yes, I can.
Yes, you can.
So then I started to like, we argued about it. I was like, no way can you tell the difference.
You can see it.
Okay, so.
And I can see it and
I'm going to tell you how much I love you because I could tell you that I removed them, scrambled them up, and I guarantee you would not be able to tell. Even though you're telling me you can, I would put money on it. Every time I make scrambled eggs, I take them out for you.
That is by far the weirdest thing I do in my entire life.
It is the most tedious process and I hate it.
It takes probably an extra minute.
Second of it, I just want to scream when I'm doing it. I'm like, this is so dumb. It's a waste of my time, but I love you and that's why I do it. So I stand there and you have to take like a wide fork. So I figured out if you take a plastic kid fork and you get it all at the same time. If you like intertwine the little the little stringy part and pull it out, it comes out better. Yeah. So I figured that out. But here's the stupid thing. So when I do it, I like let the water run and I let it run down the drain.
Yeah.
For some reason, this turd takes the thing and he puts it into the sink, but he doesn't let the water run and it gets stuck in the little drain cover. And then when you pull the drain cover out, there's like all these tentacles stick. And I'm like, babe, what is this? You need to get rid of this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So anyways.
The only reason I started doing it is because we got a batch of eggs and they were like
really long. Like many hormones long.
It was like
something's not right with these.
They were weird, and when I would go to cook them, you could actually see them. I could see them when they were mixed in, like with the whatever.
There's no way.
Yes.
Okay, I love.
And it has nothing like to do with texture. It's not a texture thing.
It's just a mental thing.
It's a mental thing. Yeah. It's because I know that when I take those out and then I scramble my eggs, they come out looking perfectly scrambled. There's no like imperfections in them.
Okay.
And that's probably on OCD and perfection, whatever. But I just do it because I'm like, you know what? They just come out better and the consistency is better. And so leave a comment. Let me know what part of my psychological problem that is. But yeah, so we do that. But anyway, so the chicken eggs that we have now,
they don't have those.
They have a different smell.
Yeah.
And I don't like the smell of hard-boiled eggs.
Okay.
These are like, they're more organic, more flavorful.
Yeah.
And they have a rotten smell when they're boiled.
Are eggs?
Yes. To me, they're like, ugh.
I will say,
yuck.
Whatever. I have never really, I don't think I've ever actively eaten an organic. We don't buy brown egg. Like we've never bought like brown organic chicken eggs before. Like some people do, and that's cool. And they probably know the secret, which is basically
your parents had brown eggs from somewhere.
They buy the Kirkland, like the Costco brand. Brown. I don't know if they might be organic, but either way, they're just like brown. Yeah, they're brown eggs.
And those are good eggs.
Yeah, and I think they're free range, and they actually are. They're better than the white eggs in my opinion.
Yeah,
but the organic. So the other day, I pulled one out of the coop because I was just curious. So our process right now, this is all about chickens. Our process
Whatever.
right now is like we get the eggs and then we have some that are sitting on the counter. So basically there's a film when the chicken lays the egg. There's a film that protects the outside of the inside of the egg from any bacteria or anything like that because eggs are porous. So like the film, like the oily substance that goes around the thing, if you don't wash that off, you can actually leave an egg sitting on a counter for like months.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. It's that weirded me out more than anything. I was like, how does it not go bad?
Right.
But it's this oily substance that comes from the chicken when it's laid, when the egg is laid.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't wash it off, you can just let it sit. But if you wash it off, you have to refrigerate it. So if I wash them, I put them right into the refrigerator. If I don't, or if I rinse them and I set them on the counter, like I know I have to use them within like 24 hours or whatever it is, or 48 hours. So basically we have this process where it's kind of like FIFO, like first in, first out. Yeah. So we're basically keeping like a pretty good system. But it has been very interesting because when you take it right out of the coop and rinse it off and cook it, like I'm talking within like an hour of it being laid, it tastes so good. Like I cannot explain to you.
They're very like
how good it tastes.
What's the word?
How different? It's like
pure. Like when you crack it and it comes out, it's like, that's the cleanest looking egg white.
There's no like, it's not.
There's no milkiness. There's no cloudiness. It's just like
clear.
A yolk and like clear.
Yeah. And the yolk is a different color than, so the store-bought eggs are yellower and the ones that are like a darker, deeper orange or whatever. So it's really interesting. But I can tell you from like eating Sunnyside eggs or whatever, like scrambled eggs, they taste different. They taste so good.
Yeah.
Lauren, the first time Lauren and Adam ate them, they ate their normal eggs.
Destroyed it.
And then they were like, Mom, can we have more? And I was like, you guys want more? And Lauren was like, that was so good. Like she could even tell the difference. And she's, she's not picky, but it's funny.
I was just thinking about, I think part of the reason why I'm like weirded out, and this is like that thing where like if you tell a lie enough times, you start to believe it's true.
Yeah.
It was like we told the girls, like when we got the chicks, we were like cracking the whip. Like if you touch the chickens, if you go near the chickens, wash your hands. They're dirty. Like, and we just didn't want them to get like salmonella or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think like I heard that and I said that so many times that like in my brain, like I convinced myself that the chickens are dirty.
Did you know that salmonella and E. coli actually exist naturally on your skin?
Yes, I know that. I know that. But we were like, oh, if you touch anything, wash your hands. And like, if the kids were touching the eggs, we were like, go and wash your hands right away. So like, make sure you don't get sick or whatever. And it like, I freaked myself out, I think. That's probably what it was. Yeah. Because now I'm like, if I touch the eggs, I'm like, in my brain, I've told myself if I touch the eggs, I should wash my hands just to be sure I don't get sick with like any weird thing. Yeah. And then I'm like, but those are the eggs that I'm about to eat.
Yeah, I got
I was like, what's that about? What's that about? Yeah. I'm weird either way.
No, I get it. I get that. I'm very careful, and I do think about that too. Like when I touch them, I'm like, okay, I need to wash my hands right away. I always we've been pretty good about that. Yeah. But I get it. Yeah. It was weird at first when I first ate it. Mm-hmm. I kind of was like, am I going to get sick? Like, is this a terrible idea? Like, do I know what I'm doing enough to know I'm not going to get sick? But yeah, it's been, I've been eating them every day almost, and it's been fine. But it's
really
okay.
Cool. I mean, like 6 to 8 eggs a day. Yeah. We probably will never have to buy eggs again, which is cool.
I sold some already, and I think I'm going to try to sell them this summer. Because if we are getting that consistently, we're like right at the point, I could probably start selling
If I start eating them,
every other day, be able to
sell any.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
because they're smaller too. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
They're a little bit smaller.
Yeah, that's why we're not making as many because you're not eating those yet.
Yeah,
maybe. Anyways,
either way, I'm sure I'll come around and stop being weird about this.
What has been happening other than our chickens?
I'm really excited because I've been like a little hermit and getting a bunch of equipment ready. Like Carly and I have been like on and off doing photography. Like clearly we do this and like the podcast. But I've had a like drive to do like studio professional lit style photography, not just natural light photography. And I've been putting in a bunch of work, like weird, like project working on things and stuff. And I'm like super close, like probably within a week we can go out and start doing some really cool stuff. So I'm excited to do that. Yeah. My goal is to be able to do like portraits, family portraits, product photography, all that stuff outside.
Yeah.
Like use the natural environment, but make it look super professional. So I am excited because I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's going to be
getting
like
nice
right now. And it's finally not like 2 feet of snow.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped about that. My goal, and this is more realistic because it's easier. You don't have to come up with a topic like the podcast. I want to do one really good photo a day.
Yeah.
For the rest of the year once I start doing it. So that's my plan.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
A good idea.
Yep. Start building a portfolio.
You should do it. You should post them on, what's your platform going to be?
Instagram.
Insta.
Probably. Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm going to get annoying. I'm going to post like one picture of our kids or like of you or of me like every day.
You might be surprised how many people
That's
you start to like inspire to do stuff. We follow this lady named Meg Lokes, and she is a phenomenal photographer. She works with Profoto, which is like a studio lighting company, and she has 3 or 4 kids, I believe, 4 kids, and she does amazing work. I mean, he showed me one day and he was like, hey, because we've talked about like our styles are very different. So I'm very like natural light based. I would rather just like work with what I've got. Just like run and gun. And, that it drives you nuts sometimes because there are so many tools that you can use to modify the light and basically, create the environment you want it to look like. And I'm just like, I don't know why I think it's because I'm very like simple minded. I'm like, I just want it to be simple. And like, when there's a lot of different elements, I get overwhelmed. A lot
of the stuff that you saw in the beginning when you looked at flash photography or using like
if it's done shitty, it looks terrible.
Yeah. If you don't know what you're doing, it looks bad.
And I think that's it's like that's a thing. It's weird. It's really funny. Like your brain with the eggs.
Yeah.
My brain does that with flash photography. Like I feel like I have seen bad flash photography too much.
Most
where it's
people
like
don't
my
do
brain
it
is
very
like
well.
It's always had this really negative connotation. I'm just like, it looks shitty. Like I don't want to do that. And I know it can look, I mean, you've showed me some examples to be like, babe, look, this is what it can look like. I'm like, wow. But it was so funny because the day I think I had like a really big aha moment was when you were like, you flipped your phone around and you were like, found Meg Lokes on Instagram and you were like, this is what I want to do. She uses Profoto lights and she does like a great job. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, like this is what you can do.
Well, and a lot of it doesn't look like it's flash.
Right. It looks completely
she does it on
natural.
Purpose. Like she'll shoot a photo of her kid.
Yeah.
Inside of her house, but she will go outside and put a flash outside of the window coming through the window.
It's
so
genius.
You would never know.
Right.
But like the light that is coming through is all fake. It's all
so cool.
Flash photography.
Yeah, she does she's phenomenal
just really good
job.
at it.
It's so cool. And she's such an inspiration for like what I want my style to be.
It's just like on another level.
It is. It's like you can't
everything that lady shares, like and just in the last 2 years since I like followed her, like her stuff was good. And I started showing you, I'm like, look at how good this is. Yeah. And I think I sent you her website and I was like, just look at the photos. Right. And I remember we were both like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then she started showing stuff where she started to use a little bit of flash and like with color gels and stuff. And we're like, this is like,
it's like next
really good.
Beyond.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So yeah, I'm excited because I think, if we can emulate her style and like kind of what she does and take her approach to how to make a photo look. I mean, she's definitely an inspiration and like almost a,
she's very simplistic.
Something that I want to
aspire to.
That's what I was
that, and she's in Michigan. She's up in the UP.
She's in the UP. Yeah.
It's not quite fair because like so a lot of her photos that she shares has like a foggy, like hazy look, and we're like, where in the hell, like how is she doing this? And apparently she lives up by a lake or like a pond in the area, and it produces this fog.
There's like a marine layer every morning.
Yeah, and so she gets up and it's just like this dreamy, like it doesn't even look real. But
she's near Lake Superior, I think. So that's why it's so like. And
she shared one. I can't remember. It was her. She had her husband drive up and down a dirt road a bunch of times, and it kicked up a bunch of dirt, bunch of dust, and it made so it was like a backlit so that you could see the sun, and the sun was pointing into the camera, but all the hazy dust was in the air, and it just looked.
It's so smart.
Crazy.
We should try that this summer.
Yeah, it would be. That's so smart.
Yeah.
It was just like how simple of a thing.
She has like over 250,000
Does she
followers
really?
now on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't
she's getting
that
up
big.
there.
That's cool. She's really good.
Well, and I think she works with Profoto. She's like an ambassador to Profoto.
She wasn't doing that before. Like when I found her, they had just picked her up.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They had just, and she was like, she shared a series where she's like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this stuff, but we're going to figure it out. And now she's like a pro at it.
That's so cool. She's doing, I know she's doing, she's traveling around the U.S. doing like workshops and stuff like that. And I know she's got a few like digital workshops.
She does classes and stuff,
classes
like
online.
in-person stuff too.
It's pretty cool.
But my goal is to do some practice stuff and get to the point where we can start doing like client-based work, because I think we can do it pretty quickly, but you got to have a portfolio to show people.
Yeah.
So that's my short-term goal.
Yeah,
start doing that and building up a portfolio. So if you follow this podcast, you probably know who we are, and you might even follow us on Instagram. You'll probably start to see those photos this summer.
Yeah.
So
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. How about you? What's your big thing?
This summer?
Yeah.
Just don't die.
Just
what's your 5-year
stay
plan?
Alive.
Just don't die.
Yeah. No, I gotcha.
Big Daddy. No, I think I want to start gardening a little bit. I know that's not like more like hobby based.
I heard you doing some research on YouTube about that.
Little compost pile. Yeah.
And you did drop the what would it take me to get you to build whatever it was.
Garden boxes, couple raised garden
Is that what
beds.
it was? I wasn't paying attention. I didn't say yes,
said
did
yes,
I?
Yes,
did
you
I?
did. You don't know. Oh, and well, in that case, it wasn't garden boxes. It was a brand new house.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay, cool.
As
That's
long as
you
I
already
don't have to
said
do
yes.
the gardening.
Yeah, no, you already said yes. Yeah. So a couple garden boxes, and so it was so funny. 2 years ago, Lila took a handful of beans that were in a little like seed packet that I bought from the store, and I had high hopes for a garden last year. And our neighbor actually built us 2 of like the smallest, cutest little garden boxes. And he brought them over and he like set them up because we were just like chit chatting one day, and he was like, I said something about, I'd like to start a garden. And he was like, oh, well, I'll bring over some boxes. I've got some old scrap wood. And I was like, oh, that's all right. You don't have to do that. And he brought them over, and he like
with a bunch of dirt and fertilizer.
He put them down. He put a bunch of dirt. It was so
thank
sweet.
You, Don.
Yeah, it was
if you're watching
so
this,
sweet.
Don, thank you for that.
So he brought them, and I planted like radishes, and I think we tried to do cucumbers and a couple other
carrots.
No,
too.
it wasn't carrots. It was like pumpkins, I think. A couple other different things. Bad. Yeah, I'm so not a
You
green
put
thumb.
pumpkins in the 2-foot wide
I
little box?
am a black thumb. I am not a green thumb person. So we put a bunch of stuff.
Practice.
The radishes grew like crazy, except I didn't know that I needed to thin them.
Yeah.
And then they got way overgrown, and they like ate each other. They like cannibalized themselves. So then they just didn't
Not
work
enough
out.
nutrients.
And they became really like woody and like weird. So yeah, so
didn't
that
you
happened.
Plant peas? Did you just say that?
It was
peas?
beans. We planted beans.
Well, I know that, but didn't we have peas?
No, I don't think we did peas. I can't even remember.
What we need to do is we need to get some big, like super elevated big pots, like the wine barrel style.
Yeah.
And get them up off the ground so the kids can't get into them. I
think probably more the chickens. The chickens will scratch and eat them. The kids would probably be fine.
Dude, those chickens tear up everything.
They do.
Yeah,
it's kind of good. They've been like eating the big grass underneath the little picnic table. Anyways, yeah. So I think I want to try to garden because Lila is very interested in it. And she took out some beans one day. It was so cute, and she put them. We have like a little on our back porch. We have like a little planter area, and there's the landlord that we have now that had previously been here. He had like planted a bunch of flowers and stuff, and so it's just probably a little like 2-foot little dirt thing all the way across our back porch. And Lila took a bunch of beans, like a handful of beans, and just put them all in one spot. She covered them up with dirt and she watered them. And she said, Mom, I planted beans. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, where did you plant them? And she showed me, and there was like a big mound of dirt. And I was like, oh, awesome. And I was thinking, well, okay, it's like right under the eaves trough. Like it might get rained out, because when we get really heavy rain, there's like a huge line that gets formed in our dirt, and it just like, the whatever it's called, the wash, it's like washing out or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was thinking to myself, I need to move those. I'll move them one day.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. I don't know why I didn't remember to do it, but it just, over time it was like, early summer. And all of a sudden, like a couple of these little sprouts came out, and then there were like 5, and then there were 10, and this huge bean group of plants started coming out.
She's like, look at my beans.
It was so cute. And so every day she'd go out and she'd water them, and she'd pay attention to them and like clean them off and make sure no one was stepping on them. And by the end of the summer, beans were growing, like green beans. There were big green beans, and we got like a whole Tupperware full of green beans.
She was so proud of that. She was
so proud of herself. And then one night we cooked them and we ate. And I said, Lila, these are your green beans. And she was just like, what? So then the next, I was like, okay, ever since that moment, I was like, we have to have a garden. Like just seeing her light up like that and watching her like benefit from her hard work was so cool. So I want to do that at least this year, have like 2 or 4
absolutely
garden boxes and just let them do it. And,
they're going to be so, oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I think what I want to do too, because vegetables are cool. And you know, they're a little bit more labor intensive, but I think what I'm going to do is have a cut garden. Mm-hmm. So basically you just get flower seeds and you plant a bunch of flowers. And the whole point is you just plant the flowers to grow so you can cut them to like put them in vases and stuff. Yeah. And that'll be easy because if you fail at that, it's not like you're like wasting food, you know, like it's, you know, you get to cut them and like that'll be fun. So I think we're going to try to do that, but I'm excited.
Nice.
So it's like part of what I'm like focusing on right now. But
are you going to make like a caterpillar channel on YouTube this year?
Oh.
Caterpillar hunters? And we'll just have like daily episodes when we go out and find caterpillars.
We should. We actually should. That would be fun. Are you joking?
Guys watch it? No, I'm not joking at all. 5-minute daily YouTube videos where we go out and find monarch caterpillars.
Dude, that TikTok would blow up if you did a cool TikTok. Like watch a caterpillar turn into a butterfly. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Last year, did we talk about? I think we talked about that. Yeah, we talked.
Did we talk about the caterpillars?
We are going to do that again this year because we are officially a monarch way station.
And what happened? You got the notification. What's going on right now?
The monarchs are migrating north. The 5th generation is coming back.
They're returning home.
They're coming back north because there have been sightings in lower Tennessee and Arkansas and all the kinds of southern from Mexico. They're coming up north. Yeah, I know. It's exciting.
We have made an upgrade. My lovely Aunt Marge has gifted us a fish tank this year, and it's so much smarter. We're kind of dumb. We do stuff the hard way usually the first time around, but this year we're gonna do a full glass fish tank with a wire mesh top. Yeah. So all the chrysalises can hang from the top, and you can just lift the top off to get into it.
Yeah. Instead of having to mess around with.
So I'm excited about
clipping.
That.
Yeah.
I think we should do a caterpillar channel.
I think we should too.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I think
I'm not joking at all.
I'm not either. We have the equipment to film them and film time lapses and stuff like that. The crazy thing is, you don't like when we were searching. Do you remember when we found those caterpillars? It's all because of your mom. Your mom started this entire thing when she brought those. And I was like, what does a caterpillar do? Like who, what, where, what?
The weird thing was I had seen those and I just never knew what it was. Yeah. Like I was like, I don't know what it is. Don't know.
Like, it's a caterpillar.
Yeah, whatever.
We when we were trying to figure out like how does a caterpillar make a chrysalis? Like what does it do? We were searching on YouTube. There were some pretty cool like in studio time lapse things. But I feel like we could
absolutely do one.
Add our
That'd be
filming
really cool.
into the mix. That would be cool.
Okay. Okay.
The wheels are turning.
We got ideas. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow because I've been modifying lighting equipment and I cannot wait for it to get nice outside. Yeah. Like all these things are going to happen all at once because I'm not a big fan of winter and I've been waiting for it to come out. What are you? Are you yawning?
No, it's one.
Honey, it's
25.
It's 1:00 in the afternoon and you're yawning. What is this?
You need to finish your drink.
Oh, it's 1:25 in the morning.
I knew it. I was going to hide it, but I just said, I'm just going to yawn. Forget it.
I know. It's okay. It's all right. Well, I'm excited. Things are going to start looking up. This week, spring break week, we're supposed to get like 2 nice days, and then it's going to be cold.
Like
three nice days, and then it's going to be cold. And then the week after, it's supposed to be in like the 60s. Mm-hmm. And for us, like everybody in the southern part of Michigan, it's already been nice. Yeah. And it's been like in
Kyle
the 70s.
Is already planting his garden. It's so nice down there in Indiana.
So we got smart this year. Usually we have a big row of pine trees that like insulate the ground, and it if you plow your driveway the wrong way and you push the snow up into where the shadow is, we have snow until like the middle of April.
Yeah.
But this year I got smart and I plowed it all to where the sun is going to hit it, and it's
Yeah.
almost gone already.
Yeah, it
So
is.
that makes my brain happy.
Yeah, that was smart. I know that pile of snow over on the south side of our house was
Yeah.
like hanging around.
It's
for
so
a long
weird.
time.
Whatever this is like a vortex. It's like
Yeah,
a polar
we're in a
vortex
weird-
because we have snow. Like literally, people will be going like the beach,
Yeah.
and we've got snow on our property still.
We're in a very weird little valley that like
Between two big ridges.
it's like the wind. I swear. Okay, this is my basic bitch analogy or
Okay.
analysis of where we live. I have no idea if this is scientifically correct,
Okay.
but I feel like the wind in the valley cools
Yeah.
our ground more.
Yeah.
And then we have like, because we're in like the ridge, like the pressure of like the snowfall or something and the clouds like comes up over there and then it like dumps more.
No.
And then the big pine trees that like
I think it's more
block
the pine
the
trees.
stuff. And yeah. Because Don, if you think our next door neighbor, he's up on like this big, huge hill
Yeah.
and he like catches all the sun and then we're down in this weird little valley.
And we're blocked.
And then plus these huge pine
pine
trees. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
So our propane costs are like exorbitant throughout the year. It's no fun.
No, it's not. Thank God summer's here.
Yeah. It's
I'm
going to be
ready.
really nice.
Yep. I'm ready to go get a bunch of firewood and start having campfires again
That's where this week,
Yep.
baby, we got to do it
next week.
this upcoming week.
Next week,
Today,
yeah.
It's Monday tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're going to get prepared for spring and summer and be ready to move on from this worldwide parallelogram that we've been in for a year now.
Yep.
Can you believe it?
Yay.
This personal pan pizza we've been participating in.
Yeah.
I love the TikTok that I saw the other day, and it was like alternate names for a pandemic. And I was like, got it. Yep.
Personal
Gonna use those.
pandemic pizza.
Worldwide panoramic. Okay.
All right.
On that note,
Well, yeah.
we have officially broken the lull,
Drought.
the drought. We're gonna be back at it. You know what? I'm not gonna promise anything. I'm not gonna promise anything.
In all,
But
in all fairness,
we're gonna be back.
we sort of transformed this area into like
we did.
we
That's
were
true.
we were doing other things in the area.
That's true.
So
We
it's not
were-
like we were
yeah.
just lazy. We were just doing other things.
Yeah, we were doing some recording, some music recording for some people, and
Yeah.
we ourselves participated in recording and playing some
Yeah.
music.
But we're working on a way to do that in a different area of the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So we'll be back to doing podcasts
It's a shitty
again.
excuse and then ski season happened. I think one week we got into a fight, so we were just like, I don't want to do a podcast with you. That was probably me. That's what I
Yeah.
sounded like. And then after that, it was like basically just now we're back to it's springtime and
Everybody's
we're
happy again.
So we're gonna get back into it. But we're gonna I think probably do some more themed things too. That was fun. The last one we did with Christopher Dodge from Chris X Outdoors
Yeah.
was good. He probably thinks that he broke our podcast and like we just decided to stop doing it after he was on. Like, okay, thanks, bye. We're never doing it again. He just sucked.
No, we're back.
Just kidding.
We're back.
We're back. So we're gonna do it. But
Yeah.
this is a good one. Good break the ice, and we're getting into springtime, and our chickens are full blown chickening,
Yep.
and
All sorts of good stuff. So
heck yeah.
thanks for hanging out with us for this podcast. And 25 is in the book. So
25 is in the books. Can you believe 25? Even I mean, I know we could have more,
Yeah.
but like 25.
that's not bad.
That's weird.
We're doing all right. So we'll see ya later this week for number 26. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Okay, thanks. Bye.
See ya.